Magic Makers. I'm Mom Virella.
I'm Yukita Cosplay.
Juju Jones here.
And I'm CJ Peterson, and welcome to Magic Making Mischief. Get your wands to the ready because we solemnly swear we're up to no good. Speaking of up to no good, we're up to lots of no good. We're pre-recording today, so do not think we are ignoring you. But speaking up to no good, Yukita over there is on her way over to NostalgiaCon, which is why she's in her car. And we have with us today Christian grunge core artist Tiffany Twisted. Welcome, Tiffany.
Yay, all the way from London, England. Thank you so much for joining us. Yay.
Yes, the time zone worked out.
That's why we're pre-recording, because she needs to get up, or she's staying up a little bit late to join us. Tiffany, first of all, please explain to us what grunge core is. Let's start there.
Yes, so it's kind of well, I guess it's the actual. I think I've made the term up, but I'm not 100% sure. It's, I guess I've taken obviously the grunge bit of grunge and added. I think there's a lot of, so my music is very grunge based, like guitar riff wise, it's very grunge, but then I've got a lot of elements of like metalcore, like very melodic metalcore. So I've taken the kind of core bit from the end and put grunge core. And I just thought, well, that's the only thing I can use to describe this because it's such a crossover. And I just don't think it fits into one subgenre of rock at all. I just can't find it to fit anywhere. So I made one up.
That's okay.
Cute.
I made it up.
Impressive. I love it.
Now, I hear puppy in the back. You've also either won an award or nominated for an award, or what is that?
Yeah, so the UK is kind of, we have got a Christian music scene, but it's very much up on the, like, up and coming. It's really on the rise compared to the US, for example. So Christian rock is generally pretty, we kind of overlooked, sadly. But this time, or this year, I was nominated for what was it? A Christian charts. Yeah, like the official Christian charts award for rock artist and new best comer.
Hey, yo.
Yay, congratulations.
Love that.
Awesome.
Yeah, which is great. So it's really nice to actually be getting into that world, that Christian world where rock is generally quite underrepresented and a little bit overlooked. So to be then brought in as sort of the best newcomer alongside, much bigger Christian rap artists and this kind of area, which is very big here, like rap and gospel is huge in the UK, but rock tends to be a little bit overlooked. So that was really special, actually, just to be brought in.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
Thank you.
We talked to you before, and you mentioned that you produce your own stuff.
Yeah.
Could you kind of talk about that a little bit again?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think I'm not quite sure how I got into the producing side of stuff. I think I found that every time I was working with other people, it's sort of just, you always have something in your head. You know how it's going to sound, with anything creative, what you want to produce. You have the idea already. But somehow bringing it into somebody else's space and giving it to them is notoriously very hard. So I sort of took it upon myself and thought, well, if I just work at this consistently, I'll get to a place where I can produce to the same level as other people that I want to work with. And I really I did it kind of every day pretty much for maybe 2 years. But before I really got to the place where I thought, actually, yeah, this is at the level that I'm happy with. And it really is my favorite part of the whole thing. I love to sit and produce. It's just the most fun I have. And if I could just do that for the rest of my life and sit inside and produce, I would, definitely.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Now, how do you?
I was going to say, you didn't start off Christian, though.
No, I started off very non-Christian.
Can you tell us a little bit about how that transformed and morphed and all
Yes,
of that?
most people think, like, a lot of times when it's a Christian artist that they were raised in a Christian family too. That just seems to be the assumption as well. So yeah, and your journey's been a lot different than that.
Yeah, I think people do just presume that because it makes a lot more sense, and I can see that. But no, I was very, very far away, did not have any sort of understanding of Jesus at all. Very much lived in the world, very much lived in the secular rock scene, which we all know what that's like. It's notoriously dark, it's notoriously hedonistic, it's very much kind of doing what you want, and it's very dark. And then I also ended up getting involved in mediumship and subsequently the occult, which, to be honest, they're all obviously they're very much the same. Mediumship and kind of like what would be described as white magic is truthfully just the same as black magic. And I never realized that. I was very much on the white magic side for a long time, but got embroiled into the black magic side and realized how closely that they were actually this, two sides of the same coin. So, and that's all very connected with the rock scene as well, like secular rock. There's a lot of magic, a lot of black magic that goes on. A lot of the occult is involved. And finally, kind of slowly, my eyes began to open as to what I was really involved in. And I definitely started to feel the repercussions of what I was involved in spiritually, and sort of being able to see in the spirit. It became very intense to see what was really going on around me when it started kind of revealing itself. And so ultimately, I ended up having a very desperate prayer to God, to the God that I really didn't believe in, that I had no understanding of, but I had a really desperate prayer. And it was sort of a prayer of, I really wanted my life to end. And I really felt the impending doom of that happening. I felt that I was so spiritually caught up in something so dark that I wasn't going to make it out of this. And so I had a final desperate prayer on my bathroom floor at 3:00 in the morning to God. And a few months later, I encountered Jesus, and I had people talking to me about Jesus, talking to me about deliverance. And I was set free very rapidly once I gave my life to Jesus. It was a spiral. Once I understood who Jesus was, the spiral just happened and everything started to unravel. And it's been the greatest gift of my life. And it's been a transformation that has been so impossible to ignore. Like, my family's got saved because of it. So my dad was a real I would describe himself really as an atheist who wanted anything but God, and is now radical for Jesus. And it was just, the transformation that came it's miraculous. There's no other way to describe it. So I had to make music about it. Like, there's no way I couldn't then make music about this. I had to tell people.
This also affected your music though too, because you pulled down some of your older music.
Yes, you'd been producing music even before, so there was a lot of stuff that you had out there.
Yeah, I kind of had
why you pulled that down and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, really, I had sort of a career before that I was, that was what I was really dedicated to working on. But I had a very rapid sort of encounter with God one day, and he sort of very quickly said that actually it was really dark, and it was causing people like severe spiritual distress for my music to remain out there, because I'd been channeling something else that wasn't the Holy Spirit. And so I had to take it all down, and I really had to wipe the slate clean, which was at the time really hard. And obviously I wrestled with it deeply, didn't want to do that. It was like, I don't want to get rid of everything I've worked for, but I had to do it. And it was the best decision I ever made. It really was.
It's very much similar to the idea of Jesus wiping the slate clean.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
Yeah. And it's it's losing your identity, isn't it? Like we give everything over to Jesus when we encounter him, because we actually can't do anything else. When we encounter something so holy, we actually can't do anything else and pour ourselves out. So we have to leave the identity behind. And that was such a big part of my identity that I couldn't carry that into this new life that I've been given. I couldn't take it.
So where do you get your ideas for your songs?
Well, so now, I mean, a lot of them starts off as worship. What I would, there's a lot of kind of love songs to Jesus, but then also just documenting the journey, because the journey that I've been on since I encountered him for the first time has not been an easy one. I've had, immense shifts and changes and brokenheartedness and healing. And, crazy things happen. So I've documented a lot of that journey and made it into songs. And I try to release quite quickly. So I try to release while I'm still in a season. So while I'm still broken about something, I try and release that as quickly as possible, because then in a way, like, well, somebody out there is going to be in the same place as me and we can kind of do this together. So I'm quite consistent. Everything comes out quite in real time as I'm going through these seasons, navigating.
Kind of like you're
Yeah.
sharing your testimony through everything you're going through. So it's not just going through the motions, it's actually showing this is where I'm growing in my life and you can be a part of the journey with me.
Yeah, that's it. Because we just want to be like, that's what we want, right? We want to be taking this journey with other people. Even if we never meet those other people, it's
Right.
good enough to be able to buy into what they are going through and go, actually, yeah, that this makes sense. You get me. I might never meet you, but you get me. That is, what a blessing.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
The best form of fellowship right there is just showing who you are as a person, and that, yeah, we're all flawed. We're all sinners and we go through all the same things, but his grace is still the same regardless of what we're going through.
Yeah, that's it. It's we're like there's always more grace for us in these seasons, always. But sometimes we do need to look and realize that other people are actually just as messed up as we are, and that's okay. Like, we're all broken, truly.
Right.
Yeah.
And your songs vary a little bit too, because I believe your newest one, Unto the Lamb, that's your newest one, right?
Yes.
It's much more worship level, and a bit more calm, I guess. I don't know if that's the word, but yeah. But I love Code Line. I think is actually my favorite of all of them. I'm obsessed with your music. So if you haven't checked it, definitely check them out. But yeah, that one has a lot more heavier beats to it and stuff. But I love the message and the lyrics too. And so there's a lot of heart to your songs. And I love that. You can feel the heart that goes into them whenever you hear them too.
Yeah. There's a lot of crying. A lot of crying goes into them. I can tell you that. Yeah.
So how do you produce them? Because you don't actually have a band that travels with you.
No, I don't. So I definitely will do for live shows. That's the thing I can't do without other people. So that's a different story. But at the moment, it's just me. And I mean, luckily now we're so far on with technology that, I'd love to be able to record live drums and all this, but actually I have access, luckily, to amazing virtual drum kits. So really, as long as I can imagine it and think it, I now have the equipment to produce anything that I need to, really.
I love that. Was there a big learning curve to being able to do the music for it?
Massive learning curve, yeah. I mean, some of the first kind of things I tried to, especially drum beats, it was just, chaos, like layers and layers and layers of drums. So, and I had no idea. So I would have to sit and watch people on YouTube. I'd have to sit and watch drummers on YouTube and try and watch them map out their playing, and then try and look at a virtual kit and try and then map it out myself. So I had to just watch people do it and try and figure out, okay, so, the snare hits on the 2 and the 4 always. And then you have to, but it was a mess to begin with, like stuff that I just would, it was horrifying. I would never show anybody some of the early stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's one of the struggles. Like someone like my daughter loves to sing, and actually she loves your style too. And she doesn't have anyone who plays instruments. She doesn't have a lot of musical abilities. So she's always wondered, how is it possible to do anything with this gift that she has? So I love that. That's amazing. So a lot of practice, but it is a possibility to be able to do that. That's so awesome.
Yeah, it is. If you, we're willing to kind of get really stuck into it. Anything's possible, really. I always think this.
That's cool. So you have a new track that's coming up, and you also have a new EP that's coming out soon.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Yeah, so just released the track that you were just mentioning, actually, Unto the Lamb, which is a cover of a worship song by Upper Room that I've just got out. But then, after the Christmas period into the first bit of the new year, I just sort of really got stuck into just feeling, to be honest, feeling the Holy Spirit just ask me to really pour out into an EP. And so I've quite rapidly over the last sort of 2 months got an EP down and recorded up, and that's now going out for mix and master. So I'm slowly getting tracks back. So in the next few months, I'll have the full EP, which will be my first body of work. So my first full release other than singles, which is really exciting. Something very different about an EP rather than just singles, because it feels like it's more of a journey to go through with people, which is great.
How many singles do you have out?
I've got 5 out now. Yeah. So then another 5 from this EP. So we'll have plenty to listen to, hopefully.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Now, you're on Instagram. Are you on TikTok as well?
I am. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I think I'm a bit old for it, but I am. But I think I'm a bit old. It took me a while to figure out how on earth TikTok worked.
You're not a bit old. I play on it too. You're good.
I still don't know TikTok. So
Keeping
you're
up
not
the
allowed.
trends on there's exhausting, but
I
just
don't have a
producing content
TikTok.
on their accounts.
Yeah. So
I've got one.
Okay.
You're good. You're good. Trust me. You're good.
They are. It's a very strange, confusing place. And there's this feature, I don't know whether anybody's got caught out with this, where you can be like watching a video and you go to click more on the description and it sends it to somebody else in a direct message. And it does it automatically. I don't know if anybody else got caught out, but I have so many people that I really don't know who I sent some very weird videos to. And then I have to message them and be like, I'm so sorry, like about breakups and like really intense. One was about like why to not get filler in your cheeks. And I sent it to a guy that I met very briefly through an acquaintance who runs a studio. And I was like, this is so bad. This is so bad.
That's
It's
funny.
horrifying. And I've received some weird ones too. It's not nice. Yeah.
I just stay out the DMs. I'm like, no, I'm good.
It's bad.
So you actually have done some live shows too, though, and you have a band that goes with you when you do those. What are do you have any coming up anytime soon?
Yeah, so I should be playing some shows in the UK. We don't really have a Christian rock scene at the moment, so I'm kind of trying to build that up in the UK, and I'm sort of trying to curate that myself because it doesn't exist. But then hopefully this year I'm expecting to be in the US to play some shows as well.
Nice.
So yeah, which would be great because I know there's a really great, like, there's a real love for it out there, isn't there? Like, you guys have got quite a big scene for Christian rock, and people want to go and meet people and go to shows. So that would be an amazing thing. Yeah, please.
Where do we find the schedule for this so I can see if you're in?
Well, I'll put it on it'll be on my website as soon as everything's confirmed and I know where I'm going to be, any dates and stuff. So I'll keep the website updated. So hopefully I'm going to be near you guys somewhere, which would be great.
Texas loves Texas loves
Oklahoma. Hello.
Also,
yes.
It's true. Your neck of the woods, these areas love it, don't they? It's so good.
Yeah.
basically anywhere in the Bible Belt, you'll be good.
That's
pretty much. I know we had a Magdalene Rose on a while back, and we loved her. She's awesome. We're trying to get her in our area too
Good.
in the near future, hopefully. Yeah, there was actually some news recently. There was some struggle with some of the churches were saying, "Oh well, we changed our mind. It's a little too heavy, so we're going to redo our band schedule." And I found that very disappointing because for someone like me, for instance, I mean, yes, I was raised in a Christian home, but I went through a lot of stuff where I went through different things, and the whole self-discovery, and I eventually was led back to my Christian walk personally by music, and it wasn't the hymnal version that led me back. It was Flyleaf and heavier stuff that brought me back in.
Flyleaf, Memphis Mayfire, For Today, like all the.
That's amazing to hear. Seriously, that really had a big impact on you.
It did. It was the heart of the music that really got me. I've always been very into music, and so to hear someone whose story sounded like mine through music really meant a lot. So that's why I love your music as well, because I feel like you sharing your story out there through song is so important, because it does. It touches the hearts of people. It makes a difference.
Yeah, it
That's
does.
the thing is that teens like beat.
Mhm.
And a lot of the music that is acceptable in the Christian realm doesn't have a lot of beat to it. And it's like, no, to get the teens, you gotta have the beat.
Yeah.
So even when I was growing up, it's like, no. There were some heavier ones, and we were able to find them and bring them in, and that's what we were able to use.
Yeah.
Help us in our walk. To find out more about Tiffany, you go to www.tiffanytwisted.info. Sorry, I had to catch others that was going across the screen, or I would have missed it.
It's so true, though. Yeah, we have to really, like, we can't all just, something doesn't just switch in your brain and you suddenly want to just listen to kind of like, I don't know what would it be, Hillsong United, or like, it just doesn't happen. Where it's like some of us are just wired for heavier music. Some of us are wired for guitar riffs. Like it actually tickles something in the brain. So we have to, we can't just be expected to, I think this is the thing with Christianity. Sometimes people are, especially from the outside, presume that we just have to fit into the kind of the Christian box. But actually there just isn't a Christian box from what I've realized. There shouldn't be. Like Jesus didn't give us some sort of like, well, you need to dress like this. Don't be wearing black. It's not allowed. Right. Yeah, we didn't have that.
No, I was a youth leader for 18 years. No teen is the same. And you can't run to like a lot of music. So it's like,
what? You can't run to Chris Tomlin? Crazy. Heart on fire?
No,
I'm kidding. But I think Magdalene Rose actually said it best with one of her recent posts, which is God loves his ravens and his doves.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you do need the good worship music, but sometimes you need music with an actual beat to it. And you got to have it. And so sometimes that's what you need. And just like life has different moods to it, the music's got to have different moods to it as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like you have your David Crowder moments, where it's more like it's got a beat, but it's more laid back. And sometimes you need that screamo moment where you're feeling it so deeply, that you're crying out while you're singing it, because it's like it's hitting you hard too. Mm-hmm. That's at least for me. I mean, I know not everybody has the same taste, but yes, for me, like that was always my thing, is like that intensity spoke to me.
I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you. I need the intensity.
So question for you is, what advice would you give for somebody who maybe wants to make that changeover? Because I know that probably wasn't easy for you.
Mm. Well, I think the thing is it wasn't easy, but what I gave up was so much less than what I gained. That what I've gained is something so much greater. And it's not just kind of the spiritual aspect of that, or the idea of, spending eternity in a place where I get to be with God, or it's like, aside from even just the really spiritual side, is being given freedom that the world just can't offer, is something that you couldn't pay me to go back. You couldn't pay me to go back into my world. And it wasn't like, honestly, I didn't enjoy those sort of 10 years of my life being in rock. And I really very much lived a life of doing whatever I wanted to do whenever I wanted to do it. And I really thought I was the most free person, because I had no guardrails. But realizing how not free I was, I just couldn't go back to that, because now for the first time I have peace and I sleep and like I have joy and I have all these things that I honestly didn't really think were possible, or I thought would have to be chemically induced or induced by some thrill or something that was the spike in dopamine. And I don't have any of that. So I think looking at it, the transition will be hard, but the outcome of it, whether it's getting rid of music, whether it's getting rid of identity, relationship, whatever it is, the transition is always going to be hard. But if you've got God on the other side and you've got God with you, the outcome is going to be so good, like so powerful and so much relief. I think that's the word that I always come back to, is that I received so much relief, and everybody I speak to that comes to know God has experienced so much relief from whatever it was that they were burdened with. And my dad has it. Everybody I know has it. That's relief. And that's, you can't, there's nothing, that's not worth, you could never buy that or inhale it or smoke it. It's just not possible.
So what's next for you?
I'm not sure. I'm for the first time in my life, I'm just riding the wave and seeing what God wants to do, because now I've sort of fully surrendered my life. So I'm just going from instruction to instruction, and I'm going to see what happens next. The EP is my big kind of next step that I've felt is really, I really need to get this out, and I really need to say what it is that I'm trying to say in this EP. And I think once that's done, I'll go back to the drawing board and see what it is that I need to do next. But yeah, want to speak to people.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tiffany. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you staying up a little bit late to talk to us. Again, we are not ignoring you. This is pre-recorded. But thank you, Tiffany, for joining us.
Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure.
With us.
Thank you so much.
Next week, we're going to have a new segment that we're going to be having once a month called Nerd Talk. Tune in to find out what exactly that is. Stay tuned for details. Mombi, I guess you have a few minutes to take us out.
All right, guys. I am actually currently, one of the other reasons this is pre-recorded is because I am at Titanic, Souls of the Titanic right now. And this is an amazing event. And hopefully, like, if y'all haven't seen it, watch out for stuff.
I think Julie is too.
Yes. Oh, yes. Julie and me are both going to be there. Yes. So this is put on by Dirk Strangely, and it's happening in Conroe, Texas. And we're trying to revive downtown Conroe because there's some turmoil there. So y'all check that out and look for some of the stuff. If y'all were there, if y'all were there, let us know.
Quite proper.
Yes. So let us know in the comments if you were there, though. Definitely let us know. Otherwise, make sure that you guys check out Tiffany Twisted, because her stuff is amazing and is definitely.
What are your handles, Tiffany?
On Instagram at Tiff_Twisted. Also same for TikTok and Facebook at Tiff Twisted Band, with one F, always one F on those.
Cool.
Yeah.
So y'all check her out, because you got to hear this, like, self-produced music, and it is amazing. I was actually playing it for my husband this week, and he goes, "Wow, that's really good." So,
Yes.
And he's not easily impressed, so that's actually saying quite a bit. But so share this out. Make sure you smash that thumbs up, and if you haven't already, make sure that you are following CJ Peterson and Mombirella on the YouTubes. We're on TikTok, Juju Jones on Instagram, Yukita Cosplay on Instagram. And of course, Magic Making Mischief on all the things, guys. So make sure that y'all are following us and all of our adventures and all the fun, and so much more to come. So, did I miss anything?
Lines to the ready.
All right, guys. Thank y'all for joining us. We love y'all. Till next time, get your wands up, because it is Mischief Managed.